Yes.
Okay, cool. Welcome back. We got the band back together today, which I'm happy. Ariel's back with us. We have a great conversation. So, welcome to the Sophia Files podcast. We're going to be covering today Norse gods or the Norse world cycle, zodiacal relationships with spiritual gifts. So, like if the zodiac has any landing with that, personally. We're going to discuss Melissa's conversation with trees and sort of break down sort of what was going on with that, and we're going to try to bring in elemental wisdom through. So, and then we've got personal questions as well. We're going to be talking job transits, Uranus transits, that 7 cycle we talked about a couple of weeks ago, cohabitation with the husband. When is that going to happen? And then if you should bring the boyfriend to Utah on your dime or not. No, I'm just kidding. But let's get this started. I already have an answer though. Okay, so Melissa, tell us about this conversation with trees you had.
Yes. So there are a few things that I've consistently been drawn to throughout my life, and trees is one of them. And so being able to just be out in that area, it's more than grounding for me. It is like spiritual for me. So I started out my walk just giving gratitude and thanking the trees for the shade and everything, and I gave like just mentally like dropped like an emerald just as a like here's a little energy thank you, and that got them talking.
I love that.
And so first thing I was asking is like what would you like us to know, because everybody's worried about the planet and all this stuff. And so they said we're good, like trees, we are good, we are fortunate to be where we are, to have such respectful people come into our area. And so they were just really grateful for that, recognizing that not everywhere has that. And they it kind of progressed into okay, at one point you were one of us, and I'm like, whoa, I like trees, I don't think I've been a tree before. And so they were showing me very early on in the planet, when the planet was starting to life and vegetation and just growing. And they were basically saying there were and I'm not sure if they were talking about trees as elemental energy. I didn't get that feeling. I felt like it was more like a I want to say spirit, but when the trees were moving around. And so then I'm thinking about Tolkien and the trees that was. And I'm like, I'm not sure if that's what you mean. But then they also were like, it wasn't necessarily the physical form, it was this spirit. And it was basically, it was the creation energy of the forest being built, if you wanted to put it that way. And they said, well, you were a part of that. That's where, I mean, it was a great conversation and I liked where it was going, but I'm not sure if, like I said, with that spiritual and that creation element, if that was elemental energy, as or like trees are considered earth, or if there had been a time where trees actually moved across the landscape. So I just wanted to hear what you guys felt coming through for that.
All righty. Okay. Do you want to start, Danica?
Just feel like they're in a category of their own, is what I'm feeling.
What about you, Ariel?
That's what I was feeling also. It almost feels like they're their own race. And as far as moving, in essence, the way that I saw it was almost like how hermit crabs move shells. And so almost like the transference of energy from one tree to the next. That's how they were allowed to travel, was through trees. Or yeah, one through another, long striding.
Well, and to the question of creation aspect, so when I feel that vegetation in and of itself is like its own, like there are teams that work just on that. And when I say teams, I mean like creator energies that would not be elementals. It's more like organizers, sort of blue, like the ones that lay the architecture, like the blueprint of the DNA, how it's supposed to function, how it's supposed to structure. So that's more of its own set. And then I believe that with trees, they're showing it like a hierarchy of how much do you allow yourself to be used to the benefit of other things and species, right? So trees are one of the largest providers for other entities to have their entire lifespans on. And so when you think of Mother Earth and how important it is each tree is a Mother Earth to some, well, probably a multitude of small energies all the way to birds and the larger things. So they're just saying that because of that, it almost like it elevates them as a status that's closer a little bit to God, like a godhood, because of how much they do, how much they are literally the lifeblood of these other things. So when I look for your origin, when I look for the origin point of what you were about here, I've always felt that there's a huge amount of structural like attention, right? Because I've always felt that you laid, I always just like in a white lab coat, literally, like almost like, and this is where that for like you just had more of a planning relationship with a lot of this stuff. I feel. I don't know if anybody like. What do you think, Ariel?
Mm-hmm. That's what I. For some reason, do you know that movie, the Monty Python, where like shrubbery? That was what came to mind when you were asking if you had been a part of the trees. And I guess when I think about it more, you can take the shrubbery and you can cut it and shape it to any way that you want, but your limbs will grow back. And can you propagate shrubs? Like, if you cut them?
I don't know that you can do it with shrubs, but there are large plants that you can do that with. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that would make more sense than if you were able to propagate yourself and others to spread more of that and be able to like, lay the foundation for others. And going back to the trees, like having their own life force for others, it was almost described like an ecosystem. Mm-hmm. Each tree has its own ecosystem.
And they were reminding me of the, I forget the author, but the poem book, The Giving Tree, that, you know, it's everything that it's like what you were saying, Sophia. It's just not very many tangible things with creative light force can match the reach that trees have for us.
Is that the one where it's like it's the story of the guy who is by the tree and then like, yes, I was literally, that was playing in my head while you were talking earlier. And then I was like, it ends so sadly, doesn't it?
Well, kind of.
Or I just remember like wanting to cry because it does feel wrong.
Yeah, because he's basically the tree's like, and when I am done, use my body for, you know, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, like fuck. Well, so I always loved the in an alternate timeline where I have nothing but time and money, I would love to be a huge part in the tree weaving to where you make like fucking furniture and people like that's basically like what the elves do in Tolkien, like or in the Aragon books where they sing their houses out of the trees. It just seems like that would be so fun and very cool. There was something else though. There was something else with there like I've seen where this is said. I don't know how I feel about it, so I'm curious what you guys pick up on. But one time there was a person who said that she was very gifted with speaking to trees, and that they asked that you give them like a 3-day notice if you plan to cut them down, so that they can move their consciousness through their roots into a different item.
I could see that.
I could too. That resonated with me, but you know, I don't know. People say wild things.
And again, sometimes I hesitate to say some things out loud. I have been really like here, like within the last few days, just been, I think it's just the energy and a little more anxious and a little more self-conscious than I normally am. But anyway, so I've seen people who are out amongst the trees and basically just interacting with them and then being very still and saying, can you reach your leaves down and touch me?
Yes.
And I did that and they did. So it was just, I mean, it is nice to be able to open yourself up to things that are weird and against the norm, but are real. And to just forget about what people think and just be and do who you are. So that's kind of where I was yesterday.
Well, I have a
I
question
think it's magical.
to anybody to what do they say about the trees that naturally somehow seem to grow faces in them? Do your guides say anything about that?
My guide said they're cheeky buggers.
That's mine says they have more personality than they know what to do with.
That's so wild. So that's a conscious choice. They're just like, because I just felt they're wanting the connection with humanity, and they know that that will bring it. Interesting.
I wonder how they feel about because they make the hard pieces that you can put on the tree yourself.
Yes.
I wonder what they think of that.
Ooh, I wonder if they're like, what the heck, like Mr. Potato Man.
Yeah.
No, it brought me back to Gerald, the dolphin dude,
My God,
the imposter.
the imposter. I just heard we preferred birdhouses. If you have to put something honest, put something like that. But it was lighthearted. That's so cool. Okay. Well, we'll piggyback onto this. Okay, so perfect question. What do the trees feel about the elementals? Let's see what the guides say about that. I just heard everybody's got a job to do. Let's see what that means. That's so weird. I just got judgment about their emotionality. Not judgment, but commentary. Almost like, because they showed me like lightning in the skies. They showed me like the tempests that will happen. And then they're just saying like that's a very different existence than them. Because my next question was, does it bother you whenever they strike you with lightning or whenever there's like a forest fire? And I'm like, that's just how it is. So I wonder, what do you feel, Danica?
Same thing, as I'm hearing, as long as they bring joyful life force, we're happy about it. That's what I'm hearing.
What about you, Ariel?
One of the first things I had heard was that they are like a neighboring pest. And so a little bit further in, I was shown a forest fire and almost letting it burn out, trying to let it burn out on its own, but unable to. So that's when almost the rain is summoned and is allowed to dampen that and to put out the fire. But the trees will maintain its stability by regrowing what has been lost. It's a rebirth cycle.
And Melissa?
So they were mostly indifferent, but recognizing that elementals are, I don't know if energetic is the right word, but basically the trees are stable, steady, still. Elementals are anything but that. Like it's almost like they're opposites of each other. So, but it's very matter of fact. Like you said, they have their job to do. We're doing ours. They were saying that in terms of like forest fires and like natural things that happen, that they get sort of this heads up. So like you were mentioning about their life force transitioning, they sort of get that heads up. Like animals know when there's an earthquake coming. So it's very similar to that. So it is not it's not damaging to the essence of trees the way that you might think.
Well, this question just popped in my head as you were talking about getting that heads up and understanding, like, so what do the guides say about elementals being weaponized by humans? So for instance, sending a wild, like, you know how witch doctors and energies that just try to harness that stuff, how do they feel about that type of usage? Or what's that relationship like whenever humans try to wield them? And what do our guides say about that? Ariel?
I'm getting that that the elementals are not as easily harnessed as what people think, and that there's a little bit of a disdain sometimes for humanity amongst the elementals. And so sometimes when they ask for these things, the elementals are like, fuck it, let's go. Come on, let's go for it.
Oh, wow.
So it is like, humanity, you want this, let's give it to you. So yeah, I don't think that they are truly harnessed by humans.
What do you feel, Ariel?
I was thinking that it is more or less like an organizational structure as well, that you have some layer of elemental that will like almost break off from like a whole and will
Oh,
act out on its own. So
yes.
like while you have some that will, I guess, imagine like the light in the dark, you have some that will remain one way, you have some that will break off and harness the other
Yes.
with permission.
And Danica?
That's what I was hearing. It's like making a deal with the devil because you're going to get what you ask for. But there's also repercussions that come with that. So as long as you're willing to pay the price, then they'll
Well,
do it.
so there was a thing I was watching the other day, and it was a Navajo shaman. He's, I guess, already like in the church you would call it mantled, but he's younger. He's probably in his late 30s. But he was talking about that in Navajo culture, if anything happens, like if there's a fire in the house, there's a ritual that they do to cool the spirit of the house down because that's traumatic for the house. Like nobody wants to burn, and if that happens. But the other thing they said is they do that to appease and clear the fire elemental. And so that they went to this house, and they, I guess, on that land, because so many bloodlines are so used to magic, and he always talks about how his people have a horrible tendency for jealousy and sending energies after each other on that for whatever reason. So they were checking to make sure that had not been sent maliciously. And he said that when he got there, he made a mistake, first of all, because he did not realize what he was supposed to do or not. And he said he turned his back on the elemental because he was looking for something. And apparently the energies like lit his back up for being disrespectful. So that was interesting. But then two, the elemental just said that it was a purified version of fire. It was like semi-conscious, and it just was basically like, I am what I am. And they tried to clear it, and they bring in cooling spirits so that the house is rid of that energy. Because they claim, and I don't know how I feel about this, but they claim if that's not done and the element of fire stays, it just attracts more accidents because like attracts like, or it builds up like. So I thought that was fascinating because in more westernized culture, more modernized culture, we don't hear about that. Like to heal the house with a cool, it's just fascinating to me.
But to me, that is almost it is not working to harness elementals,
Right.
it's working with them.
Yes.
It's like a symbiosis.
Well, but it made me curious because they were taught the reason that they had to check and see if it had been sent, because they were saying that those versions of elementals are much harder to clear and more nefarious to deal with. So kind of like what you said, Ariel, of just like, yeah, there's probably some bad faith players that go out and they're like and like what Melissa said, oh, you want to burn? That's my favorite thing to do. And oh, there's souls involved, even better. Okay. Just out of curiosity, what do the water elementals bring to the table other than flash flooding, like anything like that? Like, but the rain, and how does that sort of fit in?
Clearing.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
But it's in a physical and a spiritual sense.
Very different attitude.
Well, less involved. It almost feels like it's echoing on the outer realm or something. Not outer realm, but it's almost like if fire was right here to reach, water feels a little bit further for me.
Yeah, I mean, if you had like a personality for each of these, yes, I feel like water would be not as energetic as fire.
Feels more like the peacemaker.
There's an etherealness to them that the others don't have. And I guess that would be also because the water is free flowing, and I just don't feel the containment around it like fire. Fire needs to be on something to burn. The trees stay where they are, and the water will go where it's gonna go.
Yeah, I feel like water is it's a little bit like a life force because it is in everything. There's water pretty much in almost every substance out here, and it is a medium in which things live in the ocean. So I think that there is a more I almost feel like motherly. That's how it feels to
No,
me.
you're right. I 1000 it definitely has a mother creator vibe. Womb. I kept getting that hardcore like womb energy. But while you were talking, I was getting this whole thing about wind is like the storytellers or the keeper of the stories or like the troubadour energy. It's almost like it sees it or it carries song is what I just heard as well. But I was reading earlier and I'm in the middle of this book and there was a past life regression where this energy had spent time there. This energy is part of a team that helps ready lands to be able to bear life later. So she was expressing that her job has always been this cooling mist on Earth, and that her and her team would rest themselves near hyperactive hot zones. And the question to the energy was like, why do you do this? And like, well, if we don't, then it's going to explode. Like, so we just sit here until it's calm. And then a couple of 1,000 years, we go to another place that needs it. And then it's like, and we'll build atmospheres. Like, this is just what we do. And the question was like, well, why are you embodying this soul, this body, if you have no intentions? Because the energy said, I have no intention of embodying. And they said, oh, we're not. This is like an accepted, like a contracted relay. Like, so in other words, this energy had never incarnated as a human. But I guess because something about this person who was under this hypnosis did have a strong relationship with wind and did have some contracts here. So I was just thinking, like, if those energies are doing stuff like that, that's fascinating. Like, there's just a depth of intelligence that I think maybe we don't have the ability to fully place. But I'm glad they do it. Okay. So zodiacal relationship with spiritual gifts. Let's see what the guides say, because I have no information about this, not really, other than just that every zodiac has an elemental leaning. But I don't know what that has to do with gifts.
So I got that it is a little more of an influencer, not a predictor. That some of your perhaps like temperament or things that you're going to experience or the position you hold on topics or that for those who are interested in developing their psychic gifts, that's how it's an influencer. So in the way that you experience world, more so than all Aquarians are going to have XYZ type of spiritual gift.
Yeah, like I was getting that it definitely has to do with almost like your makeup, like your personality, how you're going to actually use them. Like for Aquarius, I got like they're the doers. Like they don't really think about the long term of things. They just do. Like they're just, I don't know. And then like Capricorn, I got is like structure. They're the structured ones. They respond to things that come in, is what I got.
Wait, sorry, say that. What's that last bit you just said?
That Capricorn is more structure, so they respond to things when they come in, versus like Aquarius is the doer. And then for some reason with Libra, I got something about Libra and Aries being headstrong, and they're just going to stick by their decisions even when people try to sway them.
Ariel, what about you? I completely misunderstood the assignment, by the way, and everything I wrote down. I'll explain in a minute, but
no, I'm curious to hear what you wrote down.
Okay, Ariel.
As a Libra, I hate making decisions. I absolutely hate it. It stresses me out.
Well, what's your moon?
Pisces.
And what's your ascendant?
Capricorn.
That's why you hate making decisions. The Capricorn and the Pisces moon are very at odds.
Well, so I guess the way that it was explained was almost like a bank. And so the more placements you have within a certain sign influences more of your personality, and with the gifts that come with it, it's almost like enhancers. So the more that you wish to do a particular skill set, depending on where your placements are, it's almost like you would either be hindered or the opposite. What's the opposite? Hindered or, I guess, enhanced?
Supported, encouraged.
Mm-hmm.
Incoherence.
All right, so I forgot that they wrote down more elementals. So every zodiac has elemental leanings and every planet has an elemental domain. So they broke it down like that. But this is what they said. With the earth energies, I wrote down as far as gifts, like they were just spitting out what each one had. Earth energy is grid work, crystal work, animal communication, is what they said. It's like the strengths that cut. So if you have heavy earth placements, water, obviously this seems pretty normal, but intuition, clairvoyance, and healing, those are the dominant ways that moves. Fire is transmutation of energy and truth bearing. As just the way, like, that's and oftentimes, I guess, with transmutation of energy, they're meaning sort of like, you would think of this as the counselors, people that make you feel like you can be better than you are, or make you feel like that sadness isn't. So it's not, it's a lot of work inside the energy frame, is what they're saying. And then air would be, they said initiation, dreams, which I also feel is strong with water, is what they're saying. That's a shared thing. And then they put time/dimension command, and then emotional command. So in other words, if I want you to feel angry, there's almost like this, it's something about being able to transmute it. It's like a radio system. So that's something that air energies do participate with, or I don't know. Did y'all feel like anything on that more?
No, but I resonated a lot with it, so it made sense.
Okay, cool. Because now let's see what they'll say about the zodiac. They said it has more to do with the body. They said if you want to go through the 12, each one has more possession of a body part. And I did know that, but they're confirming that. But they're saying, hold on. They're saying look at the classification. So the classifications are mutable, fixed, and what's the other one? Mutable, fixed, and cardinal. So that they're saying that has more effect on what we're kind of talking about.
So what are your signs? Like air, earth, fire, water. What are yours?
Air.
Hello.
What about you, Danica?
I don't know what mine is. I'm Capricorn. I have Capricorn, Leo, and Sagittarius.
Joseph,
I would go with sun
are you streaming
sign.
on your phone
I
right now?
honestly can't remember. I want to say water. I think
No,
it's a water
okay.
sign.
Welcome back.
Oh, hi. Sorry, my connection. I don't know. I think maybe someone. I don't know. What was the last thing you heard? Sorry. And what were y'all talking about?
You were gonna write. Yeah.
Oh, what was it?
You were just about to start your explanation.
Oh, well, I was just saying, like, they were just talking about that they reference more about the cardinal, fixed, or mutable energy, because that's going to be much more over across your timeline, and people they're frustrated with themselves for it, or they're basically saying, like, know what you are. So what are you, Melissa? And we're talking rising sign, by the way. So Melissa, what's your rising?
Aquarius, which is air.
And then Ariel?
I had originally said Capricorn, but it might be Sagittarius.
And what about you,
Come
Danica?
back to me. I'll look.
I'm Capricorn.
And then I am Gemini. I just want to see. So okay. Aquarius is fixed. Capricorn is cardinal. Gemini is mutable. And if you are Sag, it's mutable as well. Okay. So the way I used to teach this was Capricorn or fixed signs are the ones that you want as your managers. They're the ones that don't mind Groundhog Day. They like the structure. They like the normalcy. They want that same shit every day. And then they'll plug and play their sporadic nature. With the cardinal signs, those are the ones that you want as your salespeople and your ideas guys, because they do not like follow through. They want to be like the new edge of the things, and they want to have big ideas, and then they're going to drop the ball when you put them in a cubicle to do the same thing over and over again. And then mutable is the people that you want. Those are the people you want to fire, like that you want them firing people, because they don't care. Like they can go with the flow. They'll sort of be your chameleons to make the person that you're firing like comfortable. They're also your hirers, because they can usually kind of back out and see what flows and what doesn't. But the problem is they're not very good with responsibility. So you don't want them really managing events. You want them managing people. And then let's just see what comes through for the Viking Nordic thing. I am so curious about this.
Is there a specific question you have about it?
Well, okay, since you don't know what I'm talking about, you're kind of the blind one here. My question would then be, am I correct about my thoughts around the existence of the Nordic reality as a plane of existence? Or do I have it off? What do you feel?
I'm feeling like they have their plane, but they could not help themselves from coming and visiting other planes. But yeah, so I do think that they mostly have their own place, but they somehow manage to influence, for instance, like humanity. Like they let themselves be known just enough, or they interacted with humans at some point. So that's what I'm getting.
What about you, Danica?
I'm being told, to answer your question, this is what I'm being told, that you're 75% correct. I'm being shown like it looks like a pie diagram, and it's cut like into thirds, and like 2/3 of it is orange and the last third is blue, but I'm not quite sure what the meaning behind those colors is.
I'm not either. What about you, Ariel?
It's not letting me in. I think it's because it's one of the most recent songs. It's a song, it's called I Think I Got You Beat. It's not letting me in. And I have a strong sensation like right here on my cheek.
Interesting. Okay, let me see. I wonder if there's trauma for you there. Because when I just asked, I was like, why is she not allowed to go there? They were like, it's too soon. And then I said, too soon to what? And they said, to her lifetime. Wait, so what?
Hell yeah.
No, wait,
Love
now I
that
want to
for
know.
me.
Well,
Love
no,
that
like,
for
let
me.
me see. Let's phrase it differently. Did they, just curious, did they already beat their level? What do you feel, Melissa?
No.
Oh, that's so crazy. Okay. Ariel?
Every developer has an exit point, like has its exit. It's like where it doesn't let you all the way out, but you can what is decimate? No, decimate's not a nice word, but it, like I say, no, but they can also come in and out.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what I was getting, and I felt like they exploited a loophole somehow. And so that's why they haven't mastered the level. They got themselves all into this loophole. They found their fun area to play in, and they got no intention of moving on or moving up, I should say.
What do you feel, Danica?
That makes a lot of sense why I'm feeling that about the colors, because I feel like the orange feels like where they used to be kind of scattered about, and then it feels like the smaller blue part is like they're funneling through there and they're like more closely connected in that area. It feels like a darker area though, that feels more kind of hidden.
See, when you were talking about the pie chart and the colors, I was imagining the blue almost like a portal.
Oh, like there's a section of them that have no intention of playing the game correctly.
Yes.
Just like we have. Because we got people on this plan who have no intentions of playing that correctly. Are they working together to distort
as a cohesive group?
there is a distortion of I believe there's a beam of light, literally, like think about a rod of light. I think that's one of the reasons why the cross is a little bit of a hidden sigil against our ascension, because I believe there's all like the pillar. There's always been, that's in iconography everywhere. Is from our path to the higher levels is a pillar of light. And so when you wear something that has a cutoff on either side of it, because they've always shown me that the effects of the cross as we know it has like a little bit, inverted or not, has a similar sign to me, which is like a capping of the light. And I don't think it's a negative thing to wear crosses or to have them on you. I think that you make what it is, but I think that their intention was to distort it. But anyways, in that distortion, it would have to happen on each plane, because each level is like an elevator door. You'd need, distorting one plane of existence would not be enough. So it makes sense that there'd be some group that would be scurrying on the backside of this pillar, doing whatever it's doing to try and distort each gaming system. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I feel like the ones that are doing it, though, that are leaving the level, it almost feels hidden. And it's comically drawn, where you have a hole with the badly placed stuff over it to hide it.
Oh, like like in the cartoons where you're just like, if I just cover it up. How strange. Do souls from our level ever go and help out that level, and vice versa? I got told in very specific allowed instances, not very often.
Yeah, I mean, if it does happen, it's not the norm.
Exception. Yes. It's almost like you have to get, they're showing me you have to get extra paperwork to do that. Like there has to be a reason. You have to be there has to be an allowed reason. That's so weird. They keep saying allowed reason. What's the allowed reason? Oh, you can only do it if you've finished. You can't pop in and out if you haven't finished it. So I guess like our like the unspoken ones who ascended out of this plane in a rainbow body, they can go help them out, but we are not. We are still very much needing help. That's funny. Okay, I can live with that.
I want to work out this feeling that I have. I feel like people get tricked into thinking that they're going to go help. Maybe because I feel like they end up in this desolate land with what I can only describe really is like fodder to a dragon. You know how people go into the desolate land and there's a dragon that will come and get them. So I'm kind of wondering if there is like another in between that happens.
Yeah, because I was hearing you'd have to be, I don't know what this means, but I was hearing you have to be deranged to go.
Really? Why?
Because nobody in their right mind would go there.
What it feels like.
Well, I just got so dizzy. Is that a defense against the plane of existence itself?
It almost feels like you don't know everything that comes along with it. Like you always want what you don't have.
Mm-hmm. I was seeing it like a deal too. The closest way I can describe it is very like voodoo. You're making these deals that you don't really know the full contract for. You're just seeing the top line.
That's so fascinating. Well, that's cool. I was very curious about that. So thank you guys.
Took a dark turn.
Well, I mean, it's just fascinating because it is one of those things where it's like, of course we'd be up to, we don't know what we don't know, we'd be up to something. I plan to look into that more. I'm so curious. Okay. All right, let's get to the personal questions. So, let's start with Danica and the question with traveling. So, what are y'all feeling? Should she or should she not aid in the transportation? I feel the same. I feel that you're correct. Yeah, and quite frankly, it's really cool that it's already a generous move what you're doing. is what I'm feeling.
Well, like I said on the trip, I mean, we spent 2 weeks, day in, day out together, and she is a very draining energy to be around. And she's coming to stay with me this week, Thursday till Saturday. So she's coming in the day of my oldest daughter's that died birthday and the celebration of her birthday. So I'm having a little bit of a struggle with that, trying to be excited that she's here, but also want to be honest with myself and be able to experience what I need to experience that day.
Well, the messaging, the reason felt the need to bring that up is because they were just saying that's still unresolved. It feels like a wound in your energy still. And I didn't know that she was coming in, but definitely before the Utah thing, there would need to be some clearing of that. And then the other aspect is like really sharpening up on the gray rock method, because whether she means to or not, it's a feeding system. And so she recognizes that you try to bring, like, if she can bring negative, now you're paying attention to her, trying to lift her up, and it's just a cycle that has no intention of being useful. And so whenever she says something like, oh, well, this always goes wrong, you just think, I'm sorry that that's the case. Or you just literally end it there. It's just gray rock. I am just a gray rock. You can say everything. But just, that's the pattern, because when you don't feed it, yes, she's going to pout. But that isn't really your fucking business. And
I'm going to step away for a minute, but I do have something to add into that. So don't move on to the next person until I get back.
Yes, no, of course. So yeah, you have a little bit of you've accidentally somehow recently threatened her, and not like in any overarching sense, but just by really becoming quite alive and I don't know that she's feeling as vibrant as you. So I feel that she's almost a little bit frustrated that you are blooming, and it's not in bad, it's I don't know. So protect yourself, expect exactly what you're going to be dealing with, which is a slightly jealous mother who doesn't even know that she is, so she doesn't know why she's picking at you, saying things that are undermining or whatever. And your task is just seeing her kind of like a toddler, and sort of just kind of, without overspending your energy, just directing her to, like, if there's a topic that will get her talking for 30 minutes, spark that one, whether it's politics, and just disappear into your world. Because she's like a little baby, she's in a baby zone right now. She's got a bloom that's about to happen in about a year and a half, and she's coming up on this chapter change as well, and she doesn't know what to do with herself. And she's using you as a little bit of a blueprint. So she's both obsessed with your path and also not able to celebrate it because she's in a scared zone.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Because I don't think it's going to let up. So it's going to be up for you to sort of forgive the childishness and forgive the attempts to kind of uproot your calm and understand, just like a kid, she doesn't mean anything by it. She can't help herself. And it's not for you to go have like long intellectual dialogue, just like you wouldn't with a kid.
No. In fact, it's funny you say that, because there are things that will come up and my dad and I will talk about it, and she'll, like you said, try to uproot the calm or the peace that, I've learned through the lessons that I've been through. And I'll just have to say to her, Mom, I'm not going to do that. Like, bluntly.
Good.
That's not the way I want to handle it. So,
yeah. That you might perceive your daughter. So all I'm saying is that's the storyline that would need to be brought into balance or brought into some peace. Is so we've got to separate ourselves away from having it be something that defines us as a lack, right, through childhood, right? Somebody told us the reasons that we don't get what we want are because we're not enough of something. We didn't do that to ourselves. But it is our job to figure out that no longer has a place, because you spend your time in the if, wonder, why land, and then all of your fears populate that. Almost never do the good things populate. Like, oh, it wasn't meant for me, or oh, somebody else got the job and needed it more than me. Like, we could play the if, what game positively too, but we weren't trained to because of our upbringing. So that's just all.
that's when things like that would happen. I started saying the phrase, isn't that interesting, to kind of neutralize the feeling about it and not take it so personal and be like, I wonder why that happened. And then usually things would pop up or magically happen later on that were better than I could have asked for.
That's a
So
great
hang in there.
phrase. No, I love that.
Yeah, and I have over the years done the same thing as I'm trying to not be the type A control freak. And um the starting the attitude of gratitude, that kind of helped a little bit. But yeah, just phrasing it in a positive way. My brain wants to make it anxiety, but in truth, my brain is lying to me because it's an emotion based thing. And so if I can just rephrase it, reframe it in a way that is more accurate. I mean, like, yeah, I don't know why I didn't get that job, but I'm sure it's for the best. Like, there's something better out there for me, So, yeah, I think just retraining your brain, it takes time, but I think it's really helpful.
And you are going to wind up where you need to. I just don't fear for you. Like, there are people that are really doing things incorrectly that I sit and I'm like, I'm afraid for you. This is not going to go well for you. And I just don't feel that around you at all. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not doing anything that is slacking to your goals. You're literally on the job hunt. Like, that's why the job market is incredibly challenging right now. And everyone's hunting. So it just takes time. I think that that's really important. What do you feel, Melissa?
Yeah, there is I get these questions so often at the fairs, and a lot of people are asking for side hustles, like what can I do as an extra job? Like I was forced into retirement, like how am I going to survive? Overwhelmingly, spirit is just like, yeah, you're going to be fine, but that's cold comfort. That's nebulous. They want something more tangible. So I would say, like with the what is it, the millennials and younger, you God, this sounds so dark. It's like you do what you have to do to survive, right now, just right now, not forever. And you have to make your dreams. Like you have to have that goal in your mind. Like think big. Like what is it that you really want? And if it is I want a six-figure income, why? Why do you want the six-figure income? Make that your goal. What is it that you want? You want to feel like you have a little luxury? Okay, well, earn enough just to get one nice car. You don't need the six figures. Money is a tool, not a goal. And you need to think about what it is that makes you happy, and start working towards looking at those types of jobs. And even if you start out just volunteering in an aspect that is in alignment with what you want to do, that might get your foot in the door. So really, really think about what is most important to you, what's in alignment with you, and move in that direction.
Danica?
So it kind of goes back to basics of starting with simple things that bring you joy in everyday life, because that puts you in that vibration versus going out and looking for jobs out of desperation and bringing that energy into it. That when you do it like that, you're not going to love it. So even just finding things that are at the job or a benefit of the job that you have now that you're grateful for, just focusing on those things that you're grateful for so that you can stay in the vibration of gratefulness, until you find something else that aligns with you or you resonate with more, just carrying that vibration through the process of moving around from job to job or finding things that are more in alignment with you.
100%, yes.
Well, it's the jealous. I mean,
So, oh, that pissed me the fuck off. I'm like, why can't you manifest for yourself, dick shit? It's not rocket science.
well, I saw this thing too that said right now they're calling it a sun ban, but it's just a space of prolonged, like solar flares. And they're saying basically, like, this one lady said it's delaying periods. I'm so late and I'm not pregnant.
Me too.
I know.
Me too.
So late. Like, and they said that when you're done with this upgrade process, this like weird it just feels exhausting. it ends with headaches. So I just had 2 days of really bad headaches, and I'm hoping that this is dissipating. But I mean, how late are you, Danica?
Oh, like a month? Like it's been like 2 months since I've had one.
See, okay, and did you take a pregnancy test? Like for the first time in 15 years, peed on, like, I was so yeah. It's good to know because evidently, are y'all late?
I don't have regular
I'm
periods.
menopausal.
Okay, well, yeah.
Oh,
So,
you can come in.
This is why I want to murder everybody. So,
listen,
it's like Fight Club. Come on, give me something to work on here.
no, I'm here for it. Hopefully, we'll just get through this upgrade or down, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I do feel that we're really getting affected, and then it'll be over, hopefully. Ooh, and then quick.
How much longer?
I mean, let's see, end of May.
Hallelujah.
Does that feel right to y'all?
Well, I wasn't focusing on that particular thing. I was more focusing on like the overall like change in like societal atmosphere. They were talking about like you're going to see a difference in like 4 years from now, but
Wow.
not that thing that you're talking about.
Ooh, well, okay, I want to see about this. So, this is just a thing I heard, yes or no? That there will be 9 days of like blackout, but it's for the benefit of us around September. Does that ring with any truth?
There has been buzz about that in the political landscape as a intentional tool. So it is very possible that this is something that's just going to backfire in a good way for us. So
What'd you feel,
yeah,
Danica?
I think
That's funny that you say the word backfire because I was being shown like almost like those like pop rock things that you step on, but I was being shown like the cartoon of like the explosion, the little sparks going off here and there everywhere.
You have no idea why that's important. Okay.
I don't.
So literally what I feel is happening with these earthquakes is it's all the underground, that's either being destroyed or it's being like because that's what I think is the final piece for the darkness aspect, is I think they have to kill what's feeding those underground areas. And then when you said the miniature explosions going off, I think it's something like that. And they're just confirming with me because they're showing me the end of V for Vendetta. Interesting. Well, I guess TBD. The 9th month, September, is just the finishing month, huh? They just love doing stuff in that month. But it does feel like it's good. I hope. We'll see. This could never happen. You know what I mean? Like timelines are collapsing left, right, and center.
Oh, I have one more quick question.
Oh, yes.
So I have my our Alaskan cruise in September.
Yeah.
September 11th. So how are y'all thinking that's going to go given our like fuel crisis and all this other stuff? Because I haven't finished paying off my deposit yet, so kind of curious.
You're supposed to go on it. You're going to be fine. I don't feel that you're supposed to adjust.
I haven't felt like there was going to be anything that stops it. Yeah.
What do you feel, Danica?
So I do feel like you're going, but I'm unsure who's going with you. It feels very almost like you're just going for yourself.
I mean, that could happen. I can't switch places. It's either two of us or just one of us, but I would go on it by myself if I had to.
All right. So let's see. What would we like to talk about next week? And we'll be back on Thursday next week. What?
I don't really like this, but I'm being told where religion originated from. Something about that.
Yes.
I
Oh,
like that. I've
boy.
actually been thinking of that recently. I like that.
I don't like talking about that stuff because it feels so political, but whatever.
Oh, that's an amazing question. Then in that case, let's also talk about what saves a soul. Let's just go all the way in. Ariel?
Good. I don't know. Dragons came up again. Snakes came up.
Let's do dragons. Yeah, we can do dragons and
That's
snakes.
funny. That was the first image I was shown, and I was like, we already talked about that, so that's funny you bring it up.
I know. We were talking about it, and then like I see the little dragon here in the corner. I'm surrounded by dragons in my D&D room.
Well, it's so.
Me too.
Aww.
Oh, I love it. And Melissa, what about you?
I'm not sure exactly how to put it into words. It is more of a kind of like playing off of the relationship stuff that I'm dealing with Gary. So it's like, as I don't know, we've kind of talked about it already. Like as you grow spiritually, like that divide. So we could look at it as like a global thing. Like as we have people, as all of us know, there are people waking up everywhere. As we raise that vibration, how does that affect those who don't want to match it?
Yes. Literally, like, I don't know why they just said Moses and the Red Sea, but
Big divide. Yep.
it makes me wonder it makes me wonder if that's what just came to my brain, what that story is actually about. Like if there's more, if that's more of a metaphysical, right? We can look into that.
It is.
Right?
It's the Red Sea.
Yeah. There is more to that than, and for him to be freeing, that goes kind of into the ascension. That would be a great conversation. Well, all right, y'all. Another amazing episode. Half of it cut. No one will know. I don't care. I love that we have the freedom to do that because this is our world. We get to make what we want.
Yep.
But I'll see you guys next week, and I love you very much. And thanks to the listeners.
All right.
Also, real quick, to the listeners, all three of y'all, we love you. But I am doing the Wednesday classes now. Again, starting this Wednesday, I'll be alternating. So we're going to start with Dark Night of the Soul. Then we'll go to Physics and Metaphysics, back to Dark Night. Dark Night of the Soul is just for going through the emotions, going through basically transmuting challenging times. And then Physics of Metaphysics is much more about manifestation and the real rules and the ways that we can set goals and guide them forward. So those are the two that I'm flip-flopping for the next couple of months. They are going to be online, so I'll post that link on my Facebook page. But anyways, I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much. And then y'all stay on, of course. I love you.
Okay.
You guys.
Bye.